The following is a brutal lower body superset workout that entirely takes place in the Smith machine. This workout is designed to not only save time, but also be convenient because you are going to be essentially in one spot of the gym for the entire duration of the workout. Now, I especially like this workout because you are hitting your legs extremely hard, even though you are saving a lot of time. A lot of these exercises are pretty difficult. These are not very beginner-friendly exercises. You need to have proper form, proper execution, proper breakdown. But as I just mentioned, I do believe that the biggest benefit out of this is that you can get in, just be at the Smith machine the whole time, and then do, 45 minutes or so, and then get out, but also create a great stimulus for your lower body. Now, a superset is effectively doing one set of a given exercise and then with little or no rest going straight into another exercise and doing another set. An agonist superset would be doing an exercise of the same musculature for both sets, whereas an antagonist superset would be doing opposing muscle groups. For example, in this workout, I do a lot of quads and then hamstrings. Now, the benefits of each of these are effectively the benefit for an agonist superset is that you are overloading a certain musculature and really fatiguing it down to its very last drop. I mean, it's kind of like a drop set in a way, except instead of staying on the same exercise and just lowering the weight, you're going to a new one. Versus an antagonist superset, the benefits of that are that you are saving time, but not really overloading one muscle. So by the time you go to the opposing muscle group, you are not too fatigued to still give a lot of exertion into that exercise. So it's really a win-win. Now, there are some cons to having an entirely superset workout like this. Essentially, the primary con is that you, by alternating exercises back and forth and not really giving yourself an adequate time to refresh, to recuperate, and recharge, you may be hindering the amount of strength and effort that you can put into your given sets, and thus you probably won't be hitting as many reps or as much weight as you could if you rested longer in between sets. Now, that's just simply the trade-off for the superset and having the saving time components. And that's really why I like the antagonist superset more, because you're more fresh hitting opposing muscle groups rather than agonists or the same muscle groups. Now, in order to offset these pretty severe cons, essentially what I do is when I feel like I need extra rest, I'll just take it. You're not in a huge rush here, okay? If you do one set of a given exercise and you are way too taxed from that exercise to do anything else, just take a breather. Take a minute or two, as long as it takes for your cardiovascular system to settle down. Because while, having an elevated heart rate and getting those cardiovascular gains in there is a huge plus of a high intensity workout like this, I would rather just do my cardio on its own time, like running or cycling or something like that, rather than impair the strength and hypertrophy gains that I could be achieving with a workout where I'm not rushing it. So the first exercise that I am performing is the rear foot elevated split squat, also known as the Bulgarian split squat. And I love doing this in the Smith machine because your foot position, your elevated foot position on the Smith machine barbell is really helpful to maintain proper posture and proper form, since you are kind of like hinging with the bar if you start to lose your balance. So it's really helpful in that regard. One modification that I would make to increase hypertrophy is to increase the the stability of the exercise. And the only way to really do that with this exercise is to have something to hold on to. So if you flip around in the Smith machine and hold on to one of the rails and then just use one dumbbell, then you will be increasing your stability vastly. Except in this workout, I chose to go the more instability route, which can also offer a host of benefits. Anyways, after doing a set of these on each foot, then I flip around and I'm doing Smith machine stiff-legged deadlifts, or also known as Romanian deadlifts. And as you can see, I have straps on so that my grip strength is not a limiting factor. After all, I already used my grip on the split squats, so why overtax them and have my grip strength be a limiting factor on the RDL exercise? I don't think so, and that's why I'm using straps as a supplement for grip strength. I like the Smith machine RDL because you are really locked into place and it makes having good form very easy. All you really have to focus on is the hinge at the hips, pushing your butt back and keeping a relatively straight leg joint so that you are not fully doing a conventional deadlift, but instead are performing the RDL like seen here. After about 3 to 4 sets to failure of this given superset, I am going to be doing the Nordic curl superset with the reverse Nordic. Now, this is the Nordic curl is one of the greatest all-time hamstring developers. It is extremely difficult especially if you haven't done it before. I can't really even perform a single rep completely, and I think that many of you will share in that challenge. Essentially, for setup, you want something for your pads, and then you want your Achilles underneath the Smith machine barbell, and of course you want it weighted. You can just leave on the weight from the RDL to weigh yourself down, and then I like to have a mat in front of me so that I'm not on the floor, but you can easily use your hands for assistance. Just try and keep a neutral spine. Try not to have any bending in your spine because that can lead to injury, and we really want to get the abdominals involved anyway. So you can use your arms, or you could hook up a band rig to assist with this exercise, but really focus on the eccentric, that is the lowering phase, because that is where the most muscle damage and growth will occur with this given exercise. Slowly lower yourself down. You can use momentum to bring yourself back up if needed, like I need. Anyways, after doing these to failure, flip around, and with the reverse Nordic, you are starting in a maximally as far back as you can go position. I like to add a weight with this one. And then same cue, you really want to be keeping your spine neutral. No bending with your spine, because that will completely ruin your form, and it's essentially cheating with the exercise. It makes it a lot easier if you are bending your spine. So keep it straight. Do reps to failure. Again, 3 to 4 sets till failure of this superset. The last superset that we have is the Smith machine hip thrusts. I just put a bench right next to the Smith machine so that my back is supported and I can get the full range of motion of the hip thrust like it deserves. And then I'm supersetting this with a unilateral, that is single leg weighted calf raise just on the side of the Smith machine. This is because up until this point we have not gotten any calf growth, and we haven't really hit the glutes in an isolated fashion. So that is why this superset exists, and that's why it is last also. So with the form, with the hip thrusts, just go slow. You don't want to be rushing this. Really try and get a peak contraction at the top of the rep to ensure that you are activating your glutes. And as far as stance goes, you kind of want a wider stance with your toes pointed outward. This will allow your femur to rotate in the socket of your pelvis and not get all jarred up when you are using your glutes. And that will ensure that the range of motion is adequate. As far as the single leg calf raise, make sure that you are really sinking into the hole, that you're getting a deep stretch, because after all, that is huge for growth. And take it slow. You don't want to be bouncing too much, just the regular calf drills that you hear. Take it slow, get the deep stretch, really feel the burn with this one, just to ensure that we are hitting those muscles as well. I may also add a soleus, also known as the seated calf raise, just to add more sets or volume to the calves. But beyond that, we're hitting every muscle of the lower body adequately, and it shouldn't take too long. It's going to be pretty brutal, at least it was for me, but it's definitely doable. So if you guys try this, let me know what you think. Let me know how I may be able to improve it. If you have any issues, just let me know what you think. Have fun.